Now, what up, though? What up, though? What up, though? I want to get right to this because I have no time to waste. I got some things I need to do. So I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Tomorrow I will be recapping that show, right? To validate everything that I said. Now, I have a problem. I had a problem with the moderation in this particular debate because we're not supposed to be talking down on people, talk about what somebody didn't do or what they or saying anything to push shade on another brother. A brother, he called himself, well, he didn't do this, so I'm gonna go deeper into this, or he went into the Strongs, well, I'm gonna go deeper than the Strongs and go into the Briggs. So I went deeper into the Briggs than he did and said things that he didn't say, right? But I didn't say that. What I did do was complimented the brother for going into the Briggs, right? You see, because that's what you're supposed to do. This brother here, well, he's over here trying to get the equity in the debate. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, it is just flat out. The brother used no Hebrew definitions. I defined every Hebrew word. You understand what I'm saying? I defined every Hebrew word. I defined every Hebrew concept, and then I applied it to the proper concepts to the definition of this text, right? The Jewish Tanakh is not talking about no order of a priest in the Old Testament by the name of Melchizedek. He is talking about the decree of the righteous King David. And that's what the book is clearly saying when you read that in Hebrew. That's the reason why I took all that time to teach y'all all these words. And guess what? Out of Divarit, right? The word Divarit, as the text implied, it does not mean order. Right. And in the Drives Brigger, it specifically said that it was dubious. It was doubtful. And it also said that it was, what was that word? Conjectural, which means it's conjecture, it's guesswork. There's no evidence for such. That's what the text says. The text said the Drivers Briggs Brown specifically said there's no evidence for this word order. And it even italicized the word order. Right? He said that it's dubious, it's doubtful, and conjectural at nature. Right? But this brother steady trying to beat the back order like we saying the same thing, and we not saying the same thing. In fact, when you use the word order, I'm confused in what are you talking about? Are you talking about the first definition of order or the second definition of order? Because it could not have been the first definition of order, because the first definition of order would be translated as Siddur. You cannot use that very first a definition of order that I used in that video for the definition of the root word that begins with debar, right? The scripture change caused that word debar because of. And I showed you one of the translations in the Strong's and the Bridge for debar is because of, not order. Not one time was the word order there, because that's the word that's confusing you. See, when you think that there's a new order, then that means that the old order is done away with. No, when you think there's a new word, then that means that the old words are done away with. You know what I'm saying? And that's just not true. That's just not true. And I want to read some scriptures over here on my channel to show you that the Levitical priesthood has not been done away with. Allow me to share my screen. They want to know. He said that the scripture, that there's no scripture in the Old Testament that said that God was going to replace. There's no scripture in the Old Testament that said that God was going to replace his order. It never said that. It didn't say God was going to do away with the Levitical priesthood, right? I'm gonna look up Exodus, Exodus, Exodus 40 and 15. I'm gonna punch that up, right? 40. We're gonna read it in English and in Hebrew, and I'll get, because every time these people say that the text don't say this, when we go into Hebrew, it says exactly that. And what they're doing is taking advantage of the fact that you don't read Hebrew. So that's the reason why I went and got other scholarly, right? other scholarly opinions, right? Of people who can read and write Hebrew. My brother Tim, I'm just gonna be honest with you. The brother don't read and write Hebrew. If he did, he didn't. I broke down whole sentences. You know what I'm saying right here? The brother couldn't even, he couldn't even define what a word really meant, because nowhere in none of his definitions was the word order ever there. And neither did he explain why it wasn't there. What he tried to do was try to tell you that order meant all those things. You dig what I'm saying? And it does not, because a order don't mean to talk. A order don't mean a speech. An order don't mean to commune. That's not nowhere in the definition or the synonyms. See? That's called force fitting. He's force fitting this information in there, and I'm very upset because the brother promised me that he wasn't going to do that whole shit. About just give your information and I'll give mine. I gave mine and mine was much more powerful, but while he was giving his information, he was condescending me. He didn't do this, and what he did was, and this, that. Dude, you shouldn't be doing that, bro. Just give your information, bro. The debate wasn't set up like that. If it was set up like that, I could have mocked you out from the beginning. What I wanted to do is teach the people that what you're doing is wrong. What you're trying to do is say that there's a Sidur, that there's a Sidur Melchizedek, and it's not. It's not a Sidur. The scripture said that there's a debar, right? And you don't understand it because you don't understand Hebrew. I preach Hebrew and I speak Hebrew and I understand it. And because I understand it and I tell you it ain't there, you should trust that. You ain't got no other reason not. You can't prove it wrong. The brother's trying to prove it wrong and he's doing a horrible job. He's just saying I'm wrong. That's all he keeps doing. None of his information that he put proved me wrong. I'm going to go to Exodus 40 here. Punch that up. All right. I'm going to punch up a number of these scriptures where these people keep lying, saying that the Levitical priesthood is done away with. No, it's not, man. God ain't never said that he done away with the Levitical and replaced it with the order of Melchizedek. Because at the time, if that was so, then from the time of David, right? If that was so, from the time of David, there would be no Levitical as a nation. There wouldn't have been a need for a Levitical priesthood because it was done away with in David's time under his decree. That's a lie, y'all. That's not true. So we go down here to the 15th verse right here. I'm going to look over here since I don't have nobody tell me, is it up? Okay, yep, it's up. I'll just get up out of there real quick because they ain't talking about nothing. Right here, Exodus 40 and 15. And thou shalt anoint them, meaning that Aaron should anoint his sons, the Levitical priests, right? As thou didst anoint their father, that they may minister unto me. This is as in the high office, in the Levitical priest office, right? Not in the king's office. The scripture keep telling you that Maliki Shadak, my king of righteousness, my king, Malik, that's my king. Maliki, my king, not a Kohenini, right? Not Kohini, not my religious, not my Louis Kohini, right? It's not that. It is a priest in the sense of a officer, right? A different kind of priest, right? And the word priest itself is even misleading. It would be better just said chief. It would have been better written as chief officer, right? Just like it was in that one text in the book of Samuel that I went to. They translated Kohanim as and David's sons as chief officers, and it does that as well in the Old Testament. The Old Testament didn't translate them as priests. Why they didn't do that? They translated them as officers, because that's what they were. They weren't intended to be looked at as priests, but as chief officers. This is why I tell y'all that people have used translations to mislead people. And it's always the people who don't understand goddamn Hebrew. A nigga couldn't tell you, give me $1 in Hebrew. A nigga couldn't count 1 to 10 in Hebrew. These are the same people that does this stuff. And they does it to really undermine the Hebrew, because they really want to do away with the Hebrew, because the Hebrew is a threat to their fucking existence. Right? And he said, thou shalt anoint them, and as thou did their fathers, that they may minister unto thee in the priest's office. For their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood. He said that, show me where the priesthood, the Levitical priesthood is supposed to be forever. Show me that. I don't have to show you that word there. Everlasting and forever is the same, right? Now, we can go and look it up in Hebrew, and that I bet you Olam going to be there, right? Which is the same word that's translated as forever, right? It's not forever until God stop it. That's not, that forever don't work like that, people. Right? He said, for their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generation. 18 and what, 40, 18. We're going to look that up in the Hebrew text. This is how you know when stuff is being mistranslated or not, because you got to learn the Hebrew text. And I really don't care who don't want to listen to it. At this point, this stuff has gotten so ridiculous, man. All of the bias and favoritism and people with personal agendas and shit that going against me. I can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? AD. Bam. Okay, we go here to this Hebrew. Read what the Hebrew text got to say. What's that? Exodus 40 and 18. I might have to go to the next chapter because I think Leviticus is written kind of off a little bit. Nope. That's not, I said Exodus, not Leviticus. How did it get? Leviticus 40 and 18. It don't read nothing like the King James. This here, this Hebrew text, Leviticus 14 says, 18 says, Moses set up the Mishkan and pull up the planks. Okay, it's the 15. Actually, this is what it is. In the Tanakh, it's actually 40 and 15 because of the way that the verses has been separated. Right? So it says in 15, it says, and ye shall anoint them as ye have anointed their fathers, so that they may serve me as Kohanim, right? And so they may serve me as Kohanim. And this shall be that their anointment will remain there with them, an everlasting Kohenah. everlasting kahuna throughout the generations. Okay, an everlasting kahuna. Yeah, well, the word olam, and there go the word olam. You see right there where my cursor is? That's olam, right? This is what olam means, right? Now, how do I push copy? Okay, you see that word there? That's olam, right? That word right there simply means forever, right? So you can't tell me that the scripture says that the Levitical priesthood is forever, right? He talk about how his son shall bring the clothes with them with their tunics. You know, who he talk about? He talk about Aaron right here, right? And Aaron's sons, right? And ye shall bring his sons, who verse 14. Whose sons? Verse 13, Aaron's son, right? Aaron's, right? And it says in 15, right? That it'll be an everlasting covenant, that it'll be olam, right? But you for somebody to sit up there and say that that's not so, that they're lying. They just flat out lying. And I have to address that. That word is everlasting. It'll be an everlasting covenant, right? Or it'll be a long-lasting covenant, one that is that lasts so long that the time is undistinguishable, meaning that you cannot say that it was done away with. Because if you were saying that, if you say that it was done away with, then that's not olam, right? That's not everlasting, and that's not eternal. Okay. See, I wanted to give that more as a lesson, right? Because I did not. Let me see what the brother says. They said Shalom Akyasha. He says you are correct. I thank you, my brother. You know, these people are juxtaposing languages. That's what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He's juxtaposing Hebrew ideas, you know what I'm saying, and English ideas, and he mixing them to bring forth the contrast, the idea that he's correct. And you don't have to do all of that, right? When he read the Hebrew text and the English text, and he cut himself right there because the Hebrew text specifically said that this was the speech of Melchizedek. Now, translate Melchizedek in Hebrew. This is the speech, right? This is the speech of Melchizedek, right? They didn't translate that. That wasn't to be a name. It wasn't. It was talking about a title, right? A king, right? The king. That's what it's talking about. Malek Kai, my king, Zodak, my righteous king. He's talking about his righteous king. What they did was put the word Melchizedek there and didn't translate it, just like they did right here in verse 15, where it says everlasting kahuna. You see, why they didn't translate kahuna? They'd have kept that word there in Hebrew, just like they kept that word there in Hebrew in Psalms 110, people. They suspect that you have a basic Hebrew understanding before you come and pick up these books and not try to rearrange the understanding in such a horrible and wrong way. There is no scholar out there that will ever tell you that there's an order of Melchizedek. Because if it is, then if that was so, then that order was established right there in Psalms 10, which means that it would have been established long time ago, which means that right then and there it should have been on the earth, and it was never on the earth. See, the brother's trying to make it as if though that is some type of prophecy. But the scriptures sit up there and tell you that these words are la Dawood. They are to David and they are for David. It didn't say la Malkazodak. It didn't say Waha Ishmael Kasadak. It didn't say for the man Melchizedek. It didn't say none of that. Okay, so it is ridiculous. You know, that is not a prophecy. That is an old decree that was decreed thousands of years ago. The brother is trying to make that as if though that's a prophecy about us, which is what he's doing is juxtaposing Christianity inside of Hebrew thought. Right. Now I'm going to look and examine some more scriptures here. Let me look up some more scriptures because there's tons of scriptures out here that talks about this priesthood that is eternal, right? Let's go to Numbers, right? You can't tell me that you didn't intend for this to be that way when you over there downplaying my truth. You know, that ain't your place to downplay my truth. Just give your give your just give your presentation, man. You gotta downplay people's truth because that's what that is that's a fallacy called appealing to the masses. You know, that's what you're doing. You're trying to appeal to the masses. Look, audience, nah, man, don't do all of that, man. Just give your information. Okay, this should pop up here. Numbers 25 and 15. No, that ain't right. Let me see. Is that it? Numbers 25 and 15. My mouse is stuck. Nope, that's the wrong text. 25 and 13. Right. Now you're gonna tell me ain't none of these is true? I'm gonna prove them all true. See, because we got time over here. We not on no time schedule and we can lay it all out. You know, but I said everything I needed to say. And if somebody don't like it and chose the other brother, I don't care. You know, you can say I lost. I'm not there for that. I'm there to give the information. So we got this here scriptures, Numbers 25 and 15 and 13, right? It says, and ye shall have it, and his seed after him. He's talking about Moses again, because you can go up to verse 10. He said the Lord spake to Moses, saying, and Moses is talking about Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, right? And you read that in verse 10 and 11, right? And you get to 13, it says, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. That's kahuna, right? Now, when we go back to the text, they're gonna do it again. They're not gonna translate it. They're not gonna call it a priesthood. They call it a kahuna because the word priest is really pagan and insulting, right? And it's misleading. You know, we don't call our priest high priest. We call them Gadol Kohen. He is the Kohen. And we call these people rabbi. We don't call these people masters and priests because these words are misleading. Right? These are none other than positions that the Most High have set up. Right? It says, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God and made an atonement for the children of Israel. Even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. I'm just going to, since I ain't got nothing else to do, we're just going to look that up in Hebrew. So that's what's that? What's that? Numbers 25. We're going to look that up in the Hebrew text. Right? We're going to see Olam there again. Numbers 25. Numbers 25:13. We're probably going to have to go a couple scriptures up. But this one here actually, I believe, match. Let me see. Okay, now we see right here in this particular verse, right, which is Numbers 25:13, right? Numbers 25:13 in the Hebrew text, it says, "It shall be for him." I preach Hebrew, not Christian. I read from Hebrew text, not Anglo-Saxon English Christian text. I preach Hebrew. I'm an Israelite, not a Christian, right? I don't need their sources. I don't go studying from their sources. That's stupid. You're going to go to your enemy for information. It shall be for him and his descendants after him as an eternal covenant of kahuna, which is priesthood. Now, we don't, I told you, the Israelites, we don't call our priests. I said that. That's misleading. We don't use the words like priest. Those words are misleading, right? We call them Kohen, right? And the priesthood is the kahuna, right? You know, at the big kahuna, that's the head of the big kahuna is the high priest, right? The Kohen is the low priest, and the big kahuna is the high priest. But the kahuna itself is priesthood, right? The whole body of priest, right? So he said it like there's a new priesthood coming. And the Bible said there's not a new priesthood, because right here it said that it shall be for him and his descendants after him an eternal covenant of kahuna. And we can look right here. If you follow my arrow, right? That's olam, right? That's barit, right? That's covenant, right? Barit. Then you got kahanat. Then you got olam, which is forever. Yahweh said that he will establish the priesthood forever, the Levitical priesthood. And the brother said that the Levitical priesthood is done away with, and it is not, people. We got that on 2 tapes. The Levitical priesthood is not done away with. So let me back up on out of that. Let's find some more scriptures in here to find some more scriptures in here to look up. There's several. That's 2. Let me see. Whoever. Okay, Exodus, what's this, 30 and 31? And ye shall say to the people of Israel, this shall be a holy anointing oil throughout the generations. He telling, okay, now I'm just going to read this one. I'm not going to post this up because it doesn't have the word olam in there, right? But it said that throughout the generations, that the Levitical priest, right? It said, you shall say to the people of Israel, thou shalt be my anointing oil throughout your generations. This was one of the duties of the priest. He was supposed to do that throughout the generations of the children of Israel, meaning that as long as you call yourself an Israelite, the Levitical priest is supposed to do this. And that is forever, because forever is as long as it exists. And we don't know how long that existence is or may be. Okay, let's go. I got one we can pull up, though, that got forever in it. Here go one, Exodus. I quoted all of these out on the show, right? Long as I quoted out and gave the sightings, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. Now it's up to you to go back and do your homework to see who's correct. Ain't nobody in the audience is equipped enough to say whether I was right or wrong, because I'm speaking on things that they don't know. So now I gave you the information. Go back and check it. Right? So I'm gonna put up KJV right there. That way, I can go strictly. We know it's going to translate that as such. So that's Exodus 29:9, KJV. It's uploaded now. This is the appointing of the priests. (29:9) it say, and thou shalt gird them with girdles, Aaron and his son, and put the bonnets on them, and the priest's office shall be there for a perpetual statute, and thou shalt consecrate Aaron and his sons. Now, do I need to go over to the Hebrew text to show you that that word perpetual is olam, meaning that that will be a statute forever? I think I do, because there's only one word in Hebrew that you can really use, right? And to make it for the mean forever, most of the, there's only one word that you can use, right? And to make it really mean like forever and ever and ever, it's like you have to use it twice, right? So you have to use this word, perpetual, right? He said the office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, a perpetual law, a perpetual decree, a perpetual debar, a perpetual command. Because remember, debar means command. Remember? Debar also means decree. See? It has the definition, the root word. The word has to have all of these definitions at root in it, minus none. And the word order was not there, people. There is no new priesthood order. No, it's not. Because this thing is supposed to be perpetual and forever. Right? And if we go to the Hebrew text there again, and I think I should, because people think that this is a joke. So we got to go there to the cave. Goodbye. I like Safari too. Safari is real hard. If you don't know Hebrew, you're going to catch pure hell over there. So we right over here on Exodus 29:9. Go down to this 9th verse, right? And it said, you shall gird them with sashes, Aaron and his son, and you shall dress them with high hats. And the kahuna, which is the priesthood, right, will be a perpetual statute for them, and ye shall invest Aaron and his sons with full authority. Now we got to look over here again. Do you see where my cursor is? With my cursor pointing at that word, that's olam. Which is the ayin, the waw, the lamed, the mem. Olam. Forever. People. Olam means forever. I think I need to prove this to you, right? Look at how that's spelled. Remember the ayin, the waw, the lam, right? The mem, right? What is olam in Hebrew? Olam. Right? It says the Hebrew word olam has multiple meanings, not just one. Just like the word priest had 7 different meanings, not just one, right? The Hebrew word olam has multiple meanings, including world, existence, lifetime, and eternity, right? Look this up. Watch this. What is the Hebrew word for forever? The Hebrew word olam is often translated as forever, but can have other meanings, right? A lifetime is forever. Existence is forever, right? The world has been here since forever, based on what the definition of what olam means, because all of these are indistinguishable amounts of time, right? And that's what it should, that's what olam is, an indistinguishable amount of time. I can show you where the Most High was talking about olam in the past, which is an undistinguishable amount of time in the past. It can't be translated as continually forever, because forever means continually in the future only. And olam means a continuation in the future and the past, unlimited. You can't decipher or discern how long this is, right? I got one more text. Olam. Beautiful word, olam. See, they want to try to lock you in this stuff to make it mean forever. You know what I'm saying? And it means it's for an undistinguishable amount of time, right? It doesn't mean time without end, right? We got one more in here we're going to put up here on the screen, right? I'm going to skip the English because it's not necessary that we deal with the English. Because we Hebrews, right? That's 12:19, that's 12:14. We Hebrews, we not Christians. Hit that 14th verse. Right? So that's Exodus. Is that Exodus? No, that's Shemot. Yeah, that's Exodus, Shemot. Exodus 12:14. And it says, and this day shall be for you as a memorial, and ye shall celebrate it as a festival for the Lord throughout your generations, and ye shall celebrate it as an eternal statute. There goes that word olam again. Well, what did I got to do with anything? Well, if you were to celebrate this as an eternal statute, then the Levitical priest had to be there eternally, just like God said, right? Now, one would say, how come there's no Levitical priest around now? Well, there is Levitical priest around now. No Levitical priests all throughout the ISUPK. They claim they got a whole bunch of them. There's Levitical priests all in Israel who claim that they Levitical priests. Israel claim to have a bunch of them. But y'all keep running around here saying there are many people running around this world. Any person that you see with the name Kohen are claiming to be descendants of the Levitical priests. But you're saying that they're done away with and they're not here, right? Well, they are not done away with. Their practices has been stopped because the Most High stopped them. But he did not stop them for the sake of giving them a new Levitical priesthood, a new kahuna. Okay, he didn't stop him in the sense of giving him a new kahuna, or God will be a liar, because he said his kahuna will be forever. Let me go and check out my brother Yarim Yahu Israel, see what he got to say on the subject. He say, I was in the chat listening. I was the one who asked him to show the order of Melchizedek in the. Oh man, yeah. Hey man, I thank you. So you understood clearly what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? And I think you understood exactly what I was doing. I was trying to teach you some Hebrew so you can understand that what if you understood what I was saying and I had enough time to get it all out, you know what I'm saying? Then you would have got a chance. And what I gave was enough to get you to know, because I only got stuck on the one word Sadur, right? And I said enough to let you know that Sadur is order and not the Debar rooted word. Let me see, I appreciate you on that too, bro. You did what was right. You said if the Levitical priesthood is done away with, then the kingship promised to David is done away with too. Man, I mean, I see it as clearly as that. I mean, because they run hand in hand, right? How could you say that the Levitical priesthood was done away with when David, Hezekiah, all of these people had the priest in their day? I'm saying that Moses made this decree. And not Moses, David made this decree in David's lifetime, which means that it should have been established there and been in existence from that point on until the destruction of the kingdom. And that was not so. And being that didn't happen like that, then obviously is a gross misinterpretation of the text. Now, there's nothing in that text to make you believe that is a prophecy, right? A foretelling of the future. There is no future tense verbs or none of that stuff, right? Ain't no shall, you shall be, you will become, this will happen, this shall come to pass. None of that verbiage is in the text. So therefore, it's not talking about the future. And therefore, it is not a prophecy. It's just not. Now, the reality is that my brother Tim, since he was over there, and I'm not going to be nasty and sloppy, but I'm going to tell the truth, right? I'm going to judge him like he judged me. And I'm not going to be disrespectful and nasty, but I'm going to be the truth. See, when Pete, that's fallacious to do the things that he's doing. When you do those things, you realize that you already lost, bro. Right? So what they're trying to do is create some type of smoke screen so that you won't pay attention to what I'm saying. The fact that the word order is nowhere in the Hebrew version of the text. It is speech. No Hebrew will even understand that word to be order. But Christians do, because they have a Masonic order. They have the order of the Knights of Malta. They have a New World order. And they have a Melchizedek order. Right? Now, let's get up out of there. I want to take you into something else real quick. I want you to see something else. I want you to read what I looked up, right? I'm gonna punch this up. Watch this. Does the Melchizedek order exist in Judaism? Man, he talking about how how the Bible gives Melchizedek an existence that is not even possible for human beings. Saying that he didn't have a mother, that he didn't have a father, that he didn't have an existence, he didn't have a beginning or end. Oh, we surely was not like that. Okay. How about this? What is the order of Melchizedek?
According to Wikipedia, the priesthood is referred to by the name of Melchizedek because he was such a great high priest. The Doctrine and Covenants states that before Melchizedek's day the priesthood was called the Holy Priesthood, after the order of the Son of God.
Is the order of Melchizedek a Jewish or Christian order? Now, these brothers ain't Christian, and they ain't preaching what the Jews say, and they preaching what the Christians say, right? They talk about the order of Melchizedek in both Jewish and Christian. In Jewish, Melchizedek is first mentioned in Genesis 14, 18, and 20, where he serves as a high priest to the Canaanite god El Elyon and blessed Abram. The Zohar, which is Jewish books, identify Melchizedek as Aaron, the high priest of Israel. Now, this brother said that Shem was Melchizedek, and no Jewish sources have that. Only Jewish sources that Jews reject. A Jew may have wrote them, but the Jews reject that. Just because a Jew wrote it, that don't mean that a wicked, wrong Jew wrote it. That's why the whole Jewish body rejects it, right? It says that Zohar, in Jewish tradition, they identify Melchizedek as Aaron, the high priest of Israel, which means if Melchizedek is Aaron, then the Levitical priesthood is not done away with, brother. So by Jewish sources, you're wrong. And then Christians, in the Epistle of the Hebrews, Jesus is referred to as the priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Right? All of this stuff about in the Church of Jesus Christ. Those who hold the order of Melchizedek are responsible for leading the church and spreading the gospel around the world. So my brother's understanding of the text is not even a Jewish understanding. It's not even an Israelite or Hebrew understanding. It's very it's cult. It's like one West Christian cult, right? So what we got here? He says that is a Christian priesthood. That's right. The order of Melchizedek is a Christian priesthood, right? And nowhere in the text does the verbiage read as if though this is a prophecy. There's so much wrong with that. Instead of just harping on what was wrong with that, I'm glad I did it. I set down a basis, right? I'm going to do a more exhaustive show with those resources to probably tomorrow. Because I need a better, a better rendition of what happened today, clear without no interruptions. So basically, yeah, and I'm kind of upset with my brother Eric because the brother was throwing jabs all night and he just wasn't saying nothing, man. Brother, we made it clear that we supposed to be. Me and DOA made it clear that we're going to give straight information. I guess he took advantage of the fact that Eric was on the phone. That's why I'm not mad at Eric. But Eric also said that he was going to be watching for these things. You know what I'm saying? He said that before me and DOA promised me that he wasn't going to do these things. And I'm going to recap the show tomorrow. I'm not going to recap the show. I'm just going to go to the parts where this man was doing cheap shots that he shouldn't have been doing. He's focusing on take my information. I took his information and I disproved this information. I did not say nothing to or about him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mention him or none of these things. The only time I did mention him was to give him credit, to show him that if you do mention a brother, you should do it like this. But when you're doing it in a condescending light like you're doing, that's foul, man. You know what I'm saying? But everybody's stupid. Ain't nobody stupid. This is why Brother Yarem who was right there. You know, he was right there and he saw it. You know, he saw it, he caught it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and when I answered my question, and Yarem can you answer me this? Did I answer the questions well and thorough to you? Or was he throwing dirt on my answers? Because he wasn't supposed to do that. I'll give you a minute to see if you can respond. You know, I want to know, did you understand me real clear? Yeah, so I didn't gave, like, how many scriptures have I given, man? I mean, goodness, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is really, really crazy. 1, 2, and there's even more in there, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scriptures that conveyed that the Levitical priesthood was olam, right? Let's read what you got here. You said you believe I answered the questions well. I can't really speak on the brother, right? And because he didn't answer the questions well and was off point, he wanted to throw shade on my answer. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say that. You said that. You said what you saw, and you saw what I saw. You know, and because he answered horribly, see, let me tell you what happens out here, man. And this is the reason why I'm an independent Israelite, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm an independent Israelite simply for the reason that all these Israelites think they hot and they think they the truth until I start speaking. And I don't agree with the brother, but I don't hate him. I didn't talk shade down on him. I didn't do no fallacies. I didn't do nothing deceitful. You know what I'm saying? A fallacy is a deceptive argument, and he was doing deceit the whole time, right? Just show in your presentation where my stuff is wrong at. And he didn't, he failed to do that. He didn't prove nothing I said wrong. You know what I'm saying? He consented to what I said maybe 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I'm not arrogant, right? I'm not arrogant, and I'm not doing this out of a place of arrogance. I'm doing this out of a place of how you gonna be in the order of priesthood of the righteous, of the King of righteousness priesthood, of the Melchizedek priesthood, and you're not exercising the Zodakness. You know, you're not exercising the righteousness, right? The Zodakim. You know, you're just not doing that. You claim all of that stuff is dubious, it's doubtful. You know what I'm saying? And it really just really not true. I had to do that because I'm not gonna sit up there and let you keep throwing shade on what I got to say, man. And I didn't do that to you. I debunked the hell out of information, right? But I did not throw shade on you, right? And he kept doing it, and he kept doing it, and he kept doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now tomorrow I'm gonna show y'all why all of that shit is wrong, right? I'm gonna break all that shit down, and I'm gonna show y'all the fallacies, the false arguments, and all of this crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna show it to you. You know, I don't think that these debates are good for our people. I just flat out don't. And I kind of was offended from the get go. I wasn't wrong. I was right from the get go. And I should have been offended when I saw all them silly ass messages and all of this. If anything other than you're correct, I don't want to hear that shit. It's contention. You know, you can keep your contention to yourself because you're not going to force feed me a bunch of lies in the name of your God, brother. It's obviously your God is not my God because my God ain't never established no order, right? No kahuna, right? No priesthood. There is no kahuna, right? There is no Siddur, no Siddur kahuna Melchizedek in Israel. There is no order of Melchizedek in Israel. There is no Melchizedek priest. To say that there's an order of Melchizedek is to say that there's a Melchizedek priesthood. And there is no Melchizedek priesthood in Judaism. I done fell out by mistake. I'm going to address your question and your statement in 1 second. I want to do something right here. Right? I'm back on all that. Right? This stuff is AI. This is artificial intelligence. It still is intelligence. It's just artificial because it didn't come from a human. It came from a computer, and these computers are linked with all the sources of information in the world. More information than you are as a human, right? Let's see what AI has to say about this. Is there a Melchizedek? Is there a Melchizedek priesthood in Judaism? Yeah, but this is not Judaism, though. This is still in Christianity. So the answer is no, right? Doctrines and covenants, that's not, we don't have doctrines and covenants in Judaism or even in Black Hebrewism. All that stuff right there is Christianity. And that's stuff Christianity, man. Let's read what the brother said. He said, I think when people believe they're right, that can't they can't hear or see anything else even when they're wrong. That's why belief is a dangerous thing. Yes, belief is very dangerous. You know, belief is very, very dangerous. I can see when I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna look into this. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look into this Melchizedek priesthood again, and that doctrines, what they call it, the doctrines and the doctrines and covenant section. I'm going to look into that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to look into that right now. See, the doctrines and covenant, as you can see here, this some more, like I told you, it's some more Christian bullcrap from the Church of Jesus Christ organization. There's no doctrines and covenant and no all of this stuff here, all of this. Christian, straight Christian. There is no Jewish, Hebrew, Israelite order of Melchizedek. That's a lie, man. That's just a flat out lie. You know, I won't be going back on those platforms, man, because you didn't keep your word, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be. I gotta put my feet down on these niggas, man. You niggas don't keep your word, man. I'm not going back on them platforms, bro. Not that one. You know, y'all niggas got to keep y'all word with me, man. Y'all sit up there and be the same niggas apologizing, talking y'all sorry, but all y'all niggas want to do is get a win over Yasha when y'all should be sitting y'all ass down learning under Yasha. Your arrogance won't let you learn nothing. It's clear that I know more than you. Today exemplified that. My brain span produced more data today than you. Talked about things that you never even spoke on in your life. I saw your Melchizedek order, and you ain't talk about none of this stuff. And as a Hebrew, you should have. You came at this stuff as a deceptive Christian, man. Preaching Hebrew stuff, just like Pharisee Israelites do. Man, I'm a Zodaki, man. We don't play and get down like that, bro. We just don't do that. Yerim Yahoo says, I don't like the debates either because they cause division. I would like to see discussions in a debate from so people can get information without thinking that they won or lost. Right. Well, this was the deceitful part because the reason why I'm upset because it was said to be a debate type discussion type thing, right? It's debate type only in the sense that it's time, you know what I'm saying? That we're not fighting against each other, right? I'm not fighting against him. I'm fighting against false information. And if you spit false information, I'm going to debunk your false information. And I'm not going to be mad and hateful towards you. I'm not mad and hateful towards the brother. I just don't trust him because he lied to me and told me that he wasn't going to do these things that he did. See, when you start coming up with fallacies and being disingenuous in the argument and being deceptive in your argument, the word deceptive, the word fallacy, phalake, means deceptive. When you're being deceptive in your arguments, when you're being deceptive in your presentations, you know what I'm saying? I really don't care, but you can be deceptive. Don't sit up there and lie on me, though. You can lie to the people. You can lie in your presentation. Keep my name out your mouth while you giving your presentation, because that's what I did. That's called respect. You see? Yeah, I don't like these debates. You know, I know he was gonna do these things because he did these things on the show. I'm sitting. He tried to make it like he won a conversation. I asked the brother to show me something. He go pulling out a long video, bro. A long video. Real truth can be answered succinctly. And the succinct, quick answer is Psalms 110:4 does not mean that the Most High repent and made David a priest after the order of Melchizedek. What really happened was that the Most High made David a chief officer, right? After the decree of the righteous king. You see, now you could go back and say that with Melchizedek and that fashion was done with him, but that's a whole nother argument that has nothing to do with that. And if you say that, you got to prove that. In the text, there is nothing that Melchizedek did, nothing but carry some bread and anointed somebody. That's it. There was no kahuna, right? To say that there's an order is to say that there's a kahuna, is to say that there's a priesthood. And there never, ever, ever has been and never will be a Melchizedek priesthood inside of Judaism. Right? It didn't even say that it was going to be a Melchizedek priesthood. It said the speech of the righteous king, or the speech you was made to preach because of the speech of the righteous king. You was made a priest because of the speech of Melchizedek, not because of an order, not because of a priesthood. For it to be priesthood, it would have to be Saduk or Kahuna. There's neither word. Hold on for a second, you are. Yeah, that was a phone call, and I really need to get. I call these people back. Excuse me. I had to call these people back. But yeah, I mean, dude, uh, 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 he said, "Do I think that Melchizedek was an actual name or a title?" I think it was. I think it was. I think it was both. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I got a cousin named Boss. You know what I'm saying? And we call him that. Is that his name or is that a title? You know, uh, a person named Victor. You know what I'm saying? Is that a name? Or is that or is that a position? You know, like a like a triumph. Is he the victor? You know, is that a position or is that a name? It's both, right? And the guy of the Old Testament, I would assume that his name, right, was Melchizedek, but that's only an assumption. That's not a fact, right? It's not a fact that that man that Melchizedek was a name, right? It is a fact that it is a position because a righteous king is a position. A righteous king is a title, right? Now that is a fact. But it is not a fact and it cannot be proven. This is why when we looked in the Drivers and Briggs and Browns, it said that this stuff, that basically the stuff that my man was doing was dubious and conjectural. I didn't have to say it, other people said it, right? He said, if people say the Levitical priesthood is done away with, you're calling Yahweh a liar. Yeah. So am I supposed to be free? Am I supposed to be friends with people who calling my God a liar? I think that if you cut my God, you'll cut me, right? And it's clear you cut. So when you're saying that the Levitical priesthood is done away with, you call God a liar, and and because you call God a liar, you feel the right that you're right, and you have the right to call me a liar, and you don't. There's nothing in the Hebrew text that even talk. There's only two scriptures in that whole text that even talk about Melchizedek, right? And even the first Melchizedek, we know that that was a title, and I would even vouch and push for that it was a title because it was, right? Because it said Melchizedek, the king of Salem. It said my right. So in Hebrew, it would read my righteous king, the king of Salem, right? Like that's like saying my good homeboy, my good homeboy in Detroit, homeboy from, oh, that's my teacher, the teacher from Detroit. That's basically all that's saying, man. Malik Zodak, my righteous king, the king of Salem. My Malik Zodak, Hamalak Salem. Melchizedek Hamalak Salem. Malk, right, is Malak, right? Malk. That's how Hebrew work. It don't work like how the words shorten the bigger the sentences and the words become, right? It don't become long like Malek Zodak. No, the word shorten like Malk Zodak. Like don't, do not shorten. It contracts and becomes don't. That's how Hebrew works. See, I spend so much time teaching about Hebrew that I think that sometimes don't even want to be a Hebrew no more, because all of the Hebrew stuff that I'm putting out is top notch, high quality. And this room should be packed out. You know what I'm saying? This room should be all the way packed out. It's going to get packed out. You know what I'm saying? This video is going to get some views. The thing is that don't nobody know that I'm up. People think that I'm over there. You know what I'm saying? They think that I'm going to go do something, And I'm out of here. I told him, man, peace. I left in peace. I said, peace. I'm out of here. I got something to do. I mean, they cannot like my attitude. I don't like their attitude. Not only do I not like their attitude, I don't like what they did, right? Because it was wrong, right? You say, right, the scriptures use titles for rulers all throughout the Tanakh. Yeah, when I tell you something, it's true. Just like I was trying to tell them that just because that's Melchizedek right there, right? That does not mean a name. Because what that is that the author failed to translate that, right? Just like when he talked about the priesthood, the word priesthood is nowhere in the fucking Tanakh, because the word priest is pagan. And it connotes paganism, because that's what the pagan leaders call themselves. We call our leaders Kohen, right? The Kahan, the Kohen. And we call the priesthood the Kahuna. You see, so is the question that would be asked, is the Kahuna a person? No, it was not. Is the Kahuna a name, or is it a brotherhood, right? Or is it an organization, right? Is the Kahuna one person, or is it a body of people? Is the Kahuna an order, like the brother trying to make it out to be? And the Levitical priesthood is an order, right? The Levitical priesthood is a priest. He's trying to confuse order with priesthood. This is what I'm trying to tell you, right? He's trying to, and an order is not priesthood, because Kahuna is not there, right? The word, the bar is there. which means speech. There's no definition you can produce in the world that has order, right, in there, because the Hebrew speaker know that that word is deceptive. That's why the Browns driver and Briggs said it was dubious, right? That's why I put that word up there so you can't get past that. You know, it hurt the brother because he went to go to the Browns, and then I turned around and went to the Browns right after, because he went to the Browns as an attempt to prove me wrong, but the Browns, but it turned around and smacked him in the face. He probably should have just hid the Browns and stayed out of the Browns, right? But yeah, so yeah, I thank you for being over there, Yarim Yahoo. You think that I gave a clear presentation, even though my presentation was short? I haven't watched it. I was the giver of it. It's a difference from being in the house in contrast to being outside the house. People on the outside see things about the house that the people on the inside will never see. And the people on the inside of the house know things about the house that the people on the outside will never see. So as I was debating, I was inside the house. I know it was clear to me as I was giving it, but I know that I would have complications because of time and technical difficulty. I didn't know that I could actually just back out of stuff and, type it up and push it in like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that I'm doing now, I didn't know that I could do that. So I had to back out of stuff, go back over there, reshare the screen. I had to do a lot of stuff. So I really didn't have the time for all of the sources that I have provided. And being that, but I would say that about 90% of my sources was read. I was at the very end of proving that Devar, Saduk, order, priesthood is all miscombobulated. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't asking did you agree. I was just asking was it clear? Was my points made clear? Because sometimes when you debating, you could actually a lot of times we think that we presented information that we didn't because you're going so fast. A lot of I've seen people in debates almost talk as if though they presented information that they planned to present and didn't present, but they was going so fast that they thought that they presented it and never presented it. You know what I'm saying? And what I meant by like, was it clear? Like, was it any gappages in my in the thinking? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back and check it out. I guess basically what you're telling me is that it was good. You know what I'm saying? It just needed to be tightened up. And the debate was Johnny on the spot, and I had technical difficulty. But I'm glad the I was afraid that the point I wasn't going to be able to make my points clear, but you said I did. So hey, if one person could tell me and they speak English that the points was clear, for anybody else not get the point, hey, that is not beyond me. That tells me that what I said was intelligible. That tells me that other people want to gaslight you for the Christian order. I mean, yes, you got Old Testament Israelites still practicing Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Really do. And it's usually the people that hate Christianity so much. Just like the New Testament. The New Testament Israelites hate Christianity and they Christians, in fact, they better Christians than the Christians that they fighting against. They far more teach Christian than the Christian that they fighting against. They're more intelligent Christian, pushing the same Christian dogma. You know, but that what you say? He say, what I meant was I already understood what you were saying. Oh, okay, okay. I know you had difficulty, so it was hard to critique. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, okay, cool. So being that it may have been hard to critique, so it was clear that I had difficulty bringing it out. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch it and see, because if it was clear that there was difficulty bringing out the information, then what's going to happen is that's a weakness, what I'm saying? And while they still on the air, they're going to be over there trying to take advantage of that weakness. You know what I'm saying? To deceptively mislead the people. Say, I have a question, Moreyasha. Do you believe King David is the future Messiah? No. No, I believe that this is what. No, I don't believe that. No, I don't believe it. I believe King David is dead, right? I believe that when they talked about the return of David, it's more so like in a sense like how I believe that Israelites saw themselves one with their lineage, with their forefathers, right? Like me, I call myself Israel, but I'm not Jacob. You understand? I have the right to call myself Israel because the scriptures called Israel's descendants Israel, right? And for in that sense, David is written to return, right? But he's written to return in the sense like through his lineage, through his posterity. Now the question is, do I believe it? I believe what the Bible says. I don't know how it's going to be accomplished. It's going to be very difficult to accomplish, being that the sons of David lineage is running around here, but we don't know who that is, and more than likely we have been disfranchised from that. So there would be really no real way for us to know. There would probably be ways for the geneticists and stuff like that to know. But what would have to happen is that we would have to get a hold to somebody, one of those kings of Israel. I think one of those, they got some of those kings' tombs. They would have to go into one of those kings' tombs and check the DNA. And whoever has those markers, they can find who are the sons of King David today. Will they return? I think they never left. Will they ever return like the king status and this, that, and this and that? I don't know. I just have to take what the scripture says and just believe what the scripture says on that. At some point in this Yarim Yahoo, it's going to take belief and faith and belief. We don't know everything. I know the things that I know only just increase my faith. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you're going to have a belief. Some things that you're going to have to accept it as true or accept it as a lie. You know what I'm saying? There's things like when you have a baby by a woman, she tells that is your baby, but you don't know that. You have to accept that as true until you can do some type of thorough investigation. He said, it's Old Testament Israelite teaching that. I didn't understand that question. Say, Old Testament Israelites. You're making a statement. You're saying it's Old Testament Israelites teaching that. Oh yeah, I believe that. It's Old Testament Israelites teaching that. But there's no priestly Israelites teaching that, because the king and the priesthood, the reason why they are Kohanim. You see, the Kohanim is passed down. The king is both Malach and Kohanim. You see what I'm saying? But he is not a Kohanim in the sense of a Levitical priest, and he's not a Kohanim in the sense of being of the line of Judah. He's a Kohanim. in the sense that he's a king. You know, that he's a king, a priestly king. You know, but see, people wore these offices. You know, all of the kings, right, were priests, right, and that was the Kohanim that was established, that David established. David established a kingly Kohanim, right? And this is why I don't like to use that word priest, right? And the word priest is a misnomer. Uh uh Kohanim is the proper word of Hebrew thought. That's the word the prophets use. That's the word I'm gonna use, right? So David set up a Malaki Kohanim, right? A king, God's king's priesthood, right? God's king Kohanim, right? And Levi set up the religious Kohanim, the religious priesthood, which is altogether two different things, right? And then you had Levitical priest, right? Then you had the high priest, right? Which was another Kohanim, and we talked about that. I was it either today or yesterday. No, we talked about that today. I can't remember what show was it, this one or that or the last one. Oh, I'm loving this dialogue right here. He said, I agree. You live on through you live not live. I agree you live on through your descendants. Yep. What I do like about Jesus, Jesus said, when you see me, you see my father, right? You know, many of us, when you see us, you've seen our father. You know, I got so many uncles that look like my grandfather. It's a shame. All of them look like all of them. Because when you seen the father, they look like him. You see them. You see the father when you look in the son's face. You see the father when you observe the son's. I was just telling my nephew that when he talked, how he talked, his cadence, you know, the way that he talked and the tonality that he talked is identical to that of his father. And that when his father was over here talking, I had to look again because I thought it was him. Because when I heard him, I heard his father. When I see you, I see your father. Right? If you don't believe that, all I got to do is bust down your DNA, and not only will I see your father, I'm gonna see his father and his father and his father. That's how the kahuna works, right? Both priestly and religiously, and kingly. That is, man. I'm loving the dialogue. I thought I was going to get ready to close the show because I was doing more talking and I wasn't interacting enough with the audience, you know. And man, you giving me a run for my money tonight, and I'm enjoying it. He says, right, that's a point that would destroy anyone talking a Melchizedek priesthood. If you put the Levitical priesthood away, then no Davidic kingship, right? Because they both were, that's what the Kohanim were. The Kohanim were all of the priesthoods of Israel. And you had a national Kohanim. Now, the brother, now, since we at it, I got something else I want to show you. I want to look up this particular scripture. What he talked about, I want to dab onto something while that's loading over there. I'm going to address the next thing you say, because you kicking some real. Oh, no, I gotta go back to this one. You say, right, there's a point that would, okay, yeah, we checked into that. Yeah, that's a point that would destroy. Yep. we checked on that one. Anybody talking about a Melchizedek? Yes, it would. It would that point would knock it right on out the box. And you say, or can you act like them or have their character? Yeah, that's why I was saying that when you see them, right, you see their actions. Yeah, you'll see them. You'll see their father. You know, that's yeah. When you hear them, when you see them, when you see the things that they do. I mean, it could be anything from the way that they write. From the way that they speak. You know, from their habits, even right. My father used to like to drink liquor. I used to like to drink alcohol, and I have just put down alcohol maybe about 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? Because I did the things that my father do. When you see, oh yeah, if you look into the DNA, you will see the father. I had a question that I was finna look up something. I should have looked it up while it was on my mind. So, there it is. That's it. Allow me to share my screen. I want to address something else, right? We talked about Olam the other day, how Olam does not mean forever, right? So I shouldn't have to reteach this stuff, you know. Why is my screen not sharing? Oh, okay, there you go. Did it come up? Did it come up yet? Make the screen big. Right. Now you got Exodus 19:6. It says, in the Bible is a scripture that referred to Israel as a nation of priests, stating, "You shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." Right? Said this promise was made to the Israelites after they were freed from slavery in Egypt and was intended for the entire nation to serve and worship God. Yeah, so we're going to, that's what I'm looking for. Let me go back up in there, open that up. In fact, I just want to go to the actual text, Exodus 19:6. And without going to a commentary, KJV. Okay, this is go to just Exodus 19, period. Because there was something that was said in this text that is very key that I want to address. I guess my computer's lagging there, so I'll just back on. All right. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. My computer just went haywire. It wouldn't let me share nothing. I'm gonna see if it'll let me do it again. I'll be over there to address your questions. I want to share something, and then that'll give me more content after I finish sharing this. See, I'm not trying to do this, man. Okay, I know what to do. Open that up and go in there and then do what the brother said. That's how you do that. I wonder, is it up yet? Wow, this is loading up. I want to see. Nah, they popped up. Okay, it did pop up. Okay. I'll make it. I'm gonna see if I can make the screen big so everybody can see it. No, it won't let me make the screen big. So, okay. Now, the deception here is that, right? Everybody want to focus on the sixth verse right here, right? And as if though that this is the entirety of the text, and it's not, right? They want to focus on the sixth verse where it says, "And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel," right? That Israel shall be a priest. But they're just going to just make them a nation of priests. There's a covenant. There's an agreement going on here. And this is the stipulations of that agreement right here in verse 5, right? It says, "Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my commandments," that's the stipulation, right? In order to be made a nation of priests, right? To be a kingdom and a nation of priests, you have to obey the voice of Yah and to keep his commandments. "And ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine." That's what it means. It means that if the children of Israel obey, right, my voice, and if the children of Israel keep my commandments, it's only if. That's why he said, now therefore, meaning like, now there it is. Like, here it is. This is it. This is it. Therefore, there it is. Right? If, if, if. That's the stipulation, people. What do I mean by if? I mean, if the children of Israel will keep it, the Most High will make us a nation of priests. He will. I believe him. The question is not if we keep it, because if is not a question, that is the criteria. The question is, did we keep it? And the answer is no. Our slavery is evidence that we didn't keep the commandments. Our slavery is evidence, no matter how you slice it, that we didn't hear his voice. You can't tell me that you heard the Most High voice all while you was eating pork, raised as a heathen, not knowing who you were. You can't tell me you was keeping God's commandment when you were celebrating Christmas and stealing and lying and coveting your neighbor and all of his goods, even his woman. We did not keep God's laws. And this is why we reflect the curses of Deuteronomy 28, which is what was to happen to us if we obeyed and if we kept his commandments. The Bible is full of promises that the Lord gave us, telling us what would be done if we kept his commandments. I need you to hold on for 1 second. Yeah, buddy. So let me go back here and address the brother's multiple comments that he made. Beautiful, very enlightening, on point comments that he made. Right, man, you put a lot down. Where do we leave off at? Now my phone acting dumb, like it doesn't want me to go back all the way. I'd be better off just you put so much down. I'd be better off going all the way back up. Okay, that's a Christian priest said I don't like the debates either. Okay, we went through that. We went all through that. Okay, we went all down through that. Yeah, we pretty much at the end. He say, okay, I agree. You live on through your lineage. Okay, we got that. What about this one? This is where we left off at. Yeremia who says, right, that's a point that, okay, we touched on that. What about this one? Or you can, yep, we touched on that. I know you put something else up. Okay, here it is. It says, what Bible translation from Hebrew to English do you think is best? Or which one do you use? Well, I use the Tanakh, right? But as you see, the Tanakh has flaws and problems in it too. You know, the best thing to do is to learn Hebrew, right? Because if you learn, it's not a difficult task. You know, Hebrew is very easy to learn. You know what I'm saying? I know it. I know the language. I could and should be much better than I am, but I don't never do nothing with it unless I'm debating with somebody or teaching, trying to convey a point with somebody. You know, I never even study the language much unless I'm trying to read into the language. So I speak it. I need to broaden my vocabulary. You know, I don't have a strong vocabulary. I speak it probably on a conversational level. Just uh, you know, you got conversation, you got fluent, and you got it's another level in between that. It's a level that's in between that. I am in the in between level, you know, more so towards the beginning. I'm at probably the first part of the second level of linguistic understanding. You know, I'm past conversation, which means I can talk in it. Which means you know the rules and you know how the language works and all of that. I'm past that. My problem is that I don't have a broad vocabulary. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'll be reading stuff or I can hear stuff and I don't know what that word means, but I'm not discouraged by that. I hear words in English all day and don't know what they mean. And today proved that there's other people who read English words and don't know what they mean. Right, because none of those words in the Bible mean what that man said they mean, even though he could try to make it mean that it don't, because when you take a further look at the translated work in which that's supposed to be translated from, you find out that the idea conveyed was not that of good standing in righteousness and truth. Yeah. You got any more questions or any more statements you'd like to say? You say, same here. I read Hebrew. I know words, but not having someone to talk Hebrew makes it hard. Well, y'all remember that's what my problem is. I'm not that good. I'm better at reading it than I am at talking it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say talking it. And having conversations because I know what I'm saying and I know what I want to say. But when people talk back to me, because I'm not used to hearing, I'm used to saying and reading. By me not being used to hearing the language, I would have a hard time conversating with people because you have pronunciation differences, you have accent. A lot of people put accents in different spots. You know what I'm saying? And all of that can make it difficult for a novice. I'm not going to say new, but I'm a novice, far from expert, right? But I know enough to where you can't pull a wool over my eyes, you know. Yeah, but it's really about reading the Hebrew. But I think that the best translation that I have come across, I need to find a way to get my hands on one. I wonder do they still have them? Last I checked, this text was out of print. The company closed down or something. Then I heard something about them opening it back up, and then I heard they closed down and the books was given away. You know what I'm saying? It was giving the books away. They always was giving the books away under the donation. You give a donation and they give you a ton of these books. But it was a blue book from South Africa called The Scriptures. And these South Africans uh, gave some of the best translations of the scriptures that I have ever seen in English. I mean, amazing. But one good thing that you can do is always like try to do what I was doing today. Like look up keywords. Make use of this. I think personally, I'm gonna tell you, and I think that the King James Bible is the best English translation you're ever gonna get. And I'm gonna tell you why. Not that the text itself is a better text, but that it comes equipped with so many tools to lead you directly to the Hebrew thought. Because the Strong Concordance is designed specifically for the King James. It's not designed for any other translation. All right. And the Browns, Drivers and Briggs, same way. You know what I'm saying? Most of these texts were made for the King James, which makes, especially the Strongs, all of the Bible dictionaries, Unger, Smiths, those are some good ones. Zondervan's, all of these are made for the King James. Well, when you find many other translations, right, you're going to have a hard time finding biblical dictionaries and concordances and lexicons that was actually written for them. With the Strong's Concordance, if you knew how to use it, you can extract the 100% Hebrew thought out of it. And you do it pretty much like how I was doing today. Where we at here? It say here I read the boom. Okay, where we at here? It say for thanks for your time, and I appreciate the knowledge and the dialogue, man. Hey, I am so glad to be here with you, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the feelings are mutual. We're lone wolves out here, man. And I'm just glad that all I ever asked was somebody to reason with me and to give me ear. Don't just listen to me. Consider what I have to say. And that for that reason alone, I appreciate you, bro. I have that one. It is what you talk about that the book called the scriptures. You have that? Is that what you're saying? If you have that, then you know that was a pretty good translation. I have that one. Is what it say? I have that one. Is it the one that has the New Testament in it? Yeah. Are you referring to the scriptures? That blue book called the scriptures? Yeah, if that's what you're asking me, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it has a New Testament in it. It's very. I love that book. I wish that I could have it now. You know, I had a bunch of them, but the last one was given to me. My pit bull destroyed it. Got mad at me because I left him in the house by himself and tore up my DNA papers and everything. You say you have the Stone edition, and you have the JPS and the Masoretic. Well, the JPS is Masoretic. They have an Aleppo, but really, it's just really just it's about studying the Hebrew language. You can't say that you're an Israelite when you preaching Christian bullcrap. And when you kick an Anglo-Saxon white man thought, that's not an African thought, and it's not a Hebrew thought that there is a Melchizedek priesthood. I have to change that because when you're saying that there's an order of Melchizedek, you're saying that there's a Melchizedek priesthood. And it's never been no Israelite Melchizedek priesthood ever on the planet. So you is talking about the scriptures. So yeah, I've had that. I bought that. I had that book back like I would say since maybe the early '90s, maybe give or take. I would say '94. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Maybe even '93. I would even say maybe I would say maybe as early as '93. I've had that book. I had that book before. That book as one of the tools, along with the Strong's Concordance and the King James. Those were some of the first tools that I used on my journey to learning Hebrew. I mean, I'm not the best Hebrew speaker in the world, you know. My brother told me today that he know Hebrew better than me, and you don't when you sitting up here. If you can take the word debar to mean kahuna or sadir, right? Then you don't know Hebrew better than me. In fact, you don't know Hebrew at all. You know, you say, "Yup." And when you learn the language, some of these Israelites are scared of you or say you speak in Yiddish, which is a bold-faced lie. You know, I speak biblical Hebrew, not Yiddish, right? I speak biblical Hebrew. I don't speak modern Hebrew, right? I have a problem with my, I mean, I have a, I'm not saying, I have a problem in the sense that I'm not that good with modern Hebrew. I speak biblical Hebrew. I study biblical Hebrew. You know, I'm not that good with modern Hebrew. I mean, it's pretty much the same, right? But there's a lot of nuances that a new language would bring, you know, to the studier of Old Testament biblical Hebrew. But I will tell you this: in studying the Hebrew language, you know what I'm saying, you'll begin to and studying stuff like I did. I'm going to take all my sources that I had yesterday and I'm going to bring them back, right? I'm going to do another part two of the show that I did yesterday without mention of this man. You know what I'm saying? Now I will, if I do mention him, I'll say this was inspired by this brother, right? But I am about teaching my people the truth and teaching them lessons. You know, I ain't gonna throw his name in once the lessons begin. I'm not going to be talking about him anymore. Yeah, but I have the Ten Commandments over here written in Hebrew, and I have the Ten Commandments written in Yiddish. And guess what? The Ten Commandments written in English is very close to German. I mean, it's so close to German to where a German person a German speaking person could actually understand Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? Yiddish is like a slang of German written with Hebrew alphabets, right? And it is not the language that's spoken in Israel, and it's not the language of the Bible or the Tanakh. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. Those are just two different languages. What we have going on. Yeah. You say, yep. And when you learn the language, some of these Israelites, okay, we checked on that one. Okay. And you said, I agree, no modern Hebrew. Well, I'm not against modern Hebrew. I think that we should learn it. I think that we should learn Yiddish, right? I am about learning and knowledge. That's what I'm about, right? Because if you learn Yiddish, right, you can actually speak a sentence. Like me, I began to embark upon it slowly. I never advanced, right? I know enough to say like, okay, this is what I've learned, right? I went to college for Arabic. I've studied Hebrew, uh, and with the studying of Arabic and Hebrew, you could easily learn the Canaanite language because the Canaanite language is actually like a mixture of Arabic and Hebrew. Okay, and the German language is and Yiddish is actually a mixture of English and German, right? Because German is a because both German because Yiddish and English are both Germanic languages, right? Now here's a quick example, and I'm gonna get ready to cut this short, right? Okay, let's say the big dog, right? Let's do it to Yiddish, right? In Yiddish, the big dog is like the grois hunt, right? The grois hunt, right? In German, it's the Grois Hound, right? And in English, it is the big dog or the big hound. So the Grois Hunt and the Grois Hound, very similar, right? Now, I'm going to show that's Yiddish, right? Yiddish, German, English, right? You can see Yiddish, English, and German sound pretty much alike. They have lots of the words because all those words are German languages. Now let's deal with Arabic, Hebrew, and Phoenician, right? In Arabic, the big dog is al is the, right? So the big dog in Arabic is al Khalib al Gadol, right? Al Khalib al Gadol. No, it ain't. My bad. It's Al Khalib al Kabir. Al Khalib al Kabir, right? Al Khalib al Kabir. That's the big dog. In Arabic, it is Hakalib Hakabir, right? So you got El Kalib El Kabir, which is Arabic, right? Then you got Canaanite Phoenician Hakalib Hakabir, right? And then Hebrew, you got Hakabir Hagadol. All of those languages are pretty much similar. So you can see that Hebrew, Arabic, and Phoenician is related, just how you can see that English, German, and Yiddish is related. And in that context, you will understand quickly and see clearly by the phonetics of the words that Yiddish and Hebrew are not the same. Modern Hebrew is not Yiddish, and ancient Hebrew is not Yiddish. Y'all remember who say fat? So so do you agree with the with the yabba dabba do Hebrew one West Camp speak? No. That's funny. You call it the yabba dabba do Hebrew. I call it Pootie Tang Hebrew. Pootie Tang Pig Latin Hebrew. That's what I call it. Badly broken, badly butchered, unintelligible Hebrew, right? Now, let's look at some of these words from the One West Council Hebrew, and let's look at some of the words in Pootie Tang. And do you tell me they sound similar? First, I want to say, like, this man through the movie was saying stuff like, I'm a sign your pity on the runny cat, right? And he was using words that just didn't make no sense throughout the whole movie, but people pretended to act like they understood him clearly, right? I'm a sign your pity on the runny cat. That's what I'm saying that the Lashawan Kadesh Caps Hebrew is. I'm saying that it is about as intelligible as Pootie Tang. This is the reason why they don't teach no lessons with full sentences and full paragraphs in it, right? Because in doing that, they would have to have a dictionary to back those lies up that they telling, right? So this is for this, and they don't have a dictionary because the language is unintelligible. Man, these One West Camps has been going to Hebrew class once a week since 1960 goddamn nine, and can't construct a full sentence. Out of all the words, out of over 8,000 words in biblical Hebrew, they can't put 20 of them together to form a small paragraph, right? Therefore, they can't talk to each other. This is why you never see them like the Arabs. You go to the Arabs in Islam, they be talking in English, but you might see in the corner two Arabs over there talking in Hebrew, conversating with each other, in Arabic, conversating with each other, right? If you go to uh, the Christians in Spain, you're going to see those Christians conversating with each other in Spanish. But you'll never see the Hebrew Israelites conversating with each other in Lashawan Kadesh because the language is unintelligible. It's almost like pig Latin. The way they constructed it is the same way that African Americans constructed pig Latin by deforming and butchering the words. Where dog become og day. Fog become og fay. Stop become opstay. Just like the Hebrew word for cry, well, that one, well, actually, that's the same, right? Kara, kara, or kari, right? In English it's cry, but into them it's karaya. Ak is ak. Aki is akia, right? Too much, right? Toda is the wada, right? Now tell me, compare the wada to Pootie Tang when he say wadata, right? It's the same way. They just took the word, the Pootie Tang word, and switched it up like how they would switch up the English word in Pig Latin. So One West is a whole scam and a whole lie backed by the Satans of Israel to keep Israel in sin and keep Israel in idolatry, because there is both Old and New Testament text that says the sins of Israel, the world waxed sick, rich. The world waxed rich off the sins of the saints. The world waxed rich off the sins of Israel. And that's why because they hired them because the black Israelites then already dominated Christianity. We already dominated Christianity, so now they have to try to come with a Christian Israelite group to usurp the Israelites again. To take the Israelites' power. You say, Baba Black Sheep Hebrew. Yeah, ba ga ba da ba la la. Hebrew. Everything is ba ga ba da la la. Don't no language in the world work like that. That's silly, man. That's really crazy. Okay, you say keep tall. You say keep tall on the tap tall. I'm taking sea moss, man. So this coughing is making me cough up phlegm. Oh boy. But I took this get all the phlegm up out of me. He say Kim tall on the top tall. Yeah, that's what water tall the water da Yahweh Shai Barakatah Bahashem Yahweh. Barakatah Bahashem Yahweh. Yes, no, it ain't even Shem, it's Sham, right? So there you go. Uh Yahweh, Baha, Shamba, Rakata, everything is, man, if you don't get up out of here with that ignorance and that silliness, that's crazy. No, I do not subscribe to the one with bogus Hebrew. It's garbage and it's trash. Anthony McCullen says 100. That's right, Jack. He said a brother from Sakari, he has made a whole Bible like that now. Well, they got to, because there's brothers like me saying that there's no that stuff that they got is fraudulent. There is no Bible, right? There is no ancient Hebrew Bible. I said that there is no text written in ancient Hebrew. Never was, right? So they got to come up. They got, since it wasn't, they got to make up one with a lie on it. But I'm still the truth, because I said there ain't no ancient Hebrew text, right? That text you got a date on it to say that that's not ancient. So you're fallacious. You're deceptive in your arguing when you come with something like that, Mr. Brother Sakari from the Sakari E. He say that's right. Teach. I mean, I've been teaching as an Israelite over 35 years, bruh, and as a Bible reader for over 42 years. Really, over 40. This year would be 44 years that I've been studying the Bible. Actually, 45, because when I was I was 6 years old in the first grade. Most people, most kids start school at 7 or whatnot. No, so I had to be about 8 or 9. So I say about 40, somewhere between 40 and 43 years I've been studying the Bible. I learned how to read the Bible strictly. I learned how to read strictly so I could read the Bible. Just like Hebrew, I didn't learn Hebrew so I could be talking and conversating with people. I learned Hebrew strictly so I could read the Bible. So I learned both English. I learned how to read both English and Hebrew strictly so I can read the Bible. Yep. But we've been on here for a long time, much longer than I thought, and I appreciate it, because I thought I was just going to give something quick and be up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But all that I didn't get a chance to cover in my video, in my debate, is covered over here. So I'm going to get that content and I'm going to upload it up over here too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to upload it up over here. I advise anybody to come in that's up under the sound of my voice to go back and check out this video, check out the video I made earlier today, check out the awful fallacious debate that was taking place. Because I'm a judge, my man. He was judging me all while he was doing it. He shouldn't have been doing that. So I'm an Israelite. You know, you smack me, I'm gonna smack you back. You know, do unto me, do unto your neighbors, you won't done unto you. You know what I'm saying? You do something to me, I'm gonna reciprocate what you doing to me right back unto you, man. You know what I'm saying? You do foul to me, I'm gonna do foul back. I'm eye for an eye. You know, you hit me in my eye, I'm gonna hit you back in your eye. You know, so that's the reason why I am going to this extreme, you know, to prove my man wrong. You know, he's wrong. You know, he's wrong and ain't no truth in nothing that he said. You know what I'm saying? None of that. You know, that stuff is all Christian bullshit. Okay, APT TMH. I know TMH is the most high. Yeah, but I don't know what APT mean, but I know what Layla told means. That means good night. And I'm with you, Layla told. Anerua ta makarut. Meaning I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to come back on, and I'm going to what am I going to do tomorrow? Either I'm going to critique today's show tomorrow, or I'm going to pull up all of my sources for today and make a clear, more tightened version of. I'm gonna turn the debate into a presentation. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be a more tightened version. Like you said, go back and watch it. You know what I'm saying, and just tighten it up. Don't do nothing else to it, but just tighten it up. You know, all praise to Yahweh. Ana Ohabuka Hamishpaka Israel. Hallelujah. Hakol and Am Israel. I said peace and blessings to all the people of Israel. Peace and love to the house of Israel. And I will see you all tomorrow. I said all of those things. Go back and check the root words, and you'll find that I just spoke Hebrew very well. And my brother can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I know where I stand at. You know, all of that down to me ain't gonna do nothing but make me mad because I know where I stand at, and I'm not gonna let you put me in a place where I don't stand, man. You know, when you do that, you're being disrespectful to me, man. You don't put the president in a fucking doghouse, bro. Just shut the fuck up and give your information. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't give a fuck who channel you on, bro. You're not gonna embarrass me, bro. You embarrass me on your channel, I'm gonna embarrass you back, bro. Okay? That's how that goes, bro. You're not gonna have me feeling awkward and shit because you over there trying to lie to the people. You know what I'm saying? There is no Malachi Kahuna. There is no Malachi priesthood. There's no Melchizedek priesthood. Okay. There's a king's priesthood. That's what the Malachi priesthood is. It is the righteous king's priesthood. That's what it is, you know. And you were made a priest because of the speech of the righteous king's priesthood. Because the king was righteous, basically, you was made a priest. Because of the speech of the righteous king, because of the decree, because of the commands. And that 110 and 4, the whole 110 is a decree. That being said, I'm out Layla Tob, Wayabarakadam. Adam with the plural.